why not just give your star players their comfort picks that are going to allow them to carry the game early, like Chulainn for Xaliea? By the time the team fighting phase came around, Obey would have had to try to lose those team fights. So that's an opportunity to work on those engagements and allow iRaffer to be his typical self in these team fights, bait stuff out, then save the rest of the squad. That's kind of been iRaffer's identity. And when you get an exorbitant lead like Xaliea had in that solo lane, it looks easy.
Man, that very last replay that we saw, I'm not going to ask for it again. That'd be throwing production for a loop. But that very last replay that we saw, I think nails what Xaliea does. He's playing Chulainn, and the important point is, if it gets banned out here, is the fact that he can do this on virtually any character. He goes all the way up, and he finds the hunter in the backline that's dropping the ultimate, and then he goes and he zones the player behind him, which is another long-range character. I think it was the mage, and then doesn't care what happens, turns around, starts peeling for his team, and then gets a last hit for a kill here, pushes a guy up here. He's just juggling so many parts of the team fight, and that's what's important about playing that solo lane, is that, especially when you're a character like a Chulainn, you got to make your impact felt throughout the entirety of the enemy team.
And Xaliea does that very well. He looks like one of the best Chulainn players in the world. Benji obviously comes to mind as the Chulainn player, but for me, Xaliea is right behind him.
And it's all about, and again, Chulainn can be a character that has a low impact if you don't know what you're doing. But Xaliea absolutely does.
Sure does.
Big impact for the big guy over there. Bans coming out. SK says no to the Thoth guy and the adapting Circuit, or just Circuit, excuse me.
He's so good that you got to ban it away even when he's not in there.
And then Cavazats and mid lane Giannis banned away by Obey, leaving SK with their first option and the first selection overall.
Could be Nemesis. Faeles has played that Nemesis a lot during his career, and that's exactly what Obey prioritized in game number 2 with similar bans, and it is going to be Nemesis. But if I'm Obey here, Tom, I'm just taking Chulainn right away. Like I just feel like Xaliea is so much more impactful on this god. Obey plays around it very well, and it worked so well last game. Why change it?
I agree. What we did see out of the Chulainn, I think, can happen from a number of different gods, but like you said, I mean, the original, ain't no reason to change this around. Nuwa will be the choice for Obey.
Could be like Chulainn next. Character. Yeah, Nuwa was selected by SK in the same sort of slot. It's going to be the Ullr, though. This is Obey kind of saying that they hope that SK doesn't end up taking that Chulainn, and there's reason to believe that they won't. Ducky has kind of gone towards other picks during his time in the solo lane. Even the Osiris that we saw in the support role, which, by the way, is definitely not the best support god in the game that you could play.
Season 4, Nuwa was selected 6 times in total. Now she's top pick, top ban as SK snatched Xalia's Chulainn away from him. That's the biggest change for me. Watching Nuwa become a go-to character when you asked the best mid laners last year what she does, and their answer is not much.
Yeah, I still think she's being slightly overvalued, but the more we see her and the more success she has, the less I can kind of stand on that leg. She's just so safe in that mid lane. Her late game's phenomenal. In Season 5, the games are going later, so you can really make use of that Nuwa, late game phenomenal damage that she has. Excellent protection for herself as well. So it's certainly an excellent pick. In this situation, with Giannis and Thoth off the board, the 2 de facto top mid laners in my mind right now, Discordia's right there, but going for the Nuwa instead makes sense.
I like the way Nuwa controls the jungle. A lot of those little corridors, as I'm thinking about Fire Giant, a lot of those little entranceways around the rocks, you toss out Nuwa minions and nobody can walk there, because they're just going to walk into a death trap. I think that's what makes it really powerful.
It's just, the late game safety as well as guaranteed damage from fire shards. It's always been the case that if you get to 6 items guaranteed on Nuwa, you're going to be worth picking early on in the draft. It's just historically that hasn't always come to fruition. Now in Season 5, it's happening more often than ever.
Makes sense here. Bans out for Obey. They say no to the Soul, and they say no to the Discordia. So SK going to have to dig deep in their bag of tricks as far as the mid lane is concerned, as we see 1, 2, 3, 4 mid laners banned out, not counting the Nuwa that was selected. That would be number 5. SK going to ban out the Arachne, as you mentioned last time. CaptainTwig does like this character, and also going to ban out the Rat. CaptainTwig does like this character.
He sure does. Plenty of assassins still on the table, though last time that Obey had to deal with a lot of assassin bans, CaptainTwig went towards that warrior role, picked up the Erlang Shen, and 75 minutes later, lost the game.
I don't think classes mean much, especially at this level of play. CaptainTwig has a jungle god pool. Some of them are assassins, and some of them are warriors, right?
And some of them are guardians.
Some of them are guardians, yeah.
Kuzenba.
Oh, the Ra. This is... I really, really, really do love this selection. Ra is a character that has been out for as long as Lawbster. Lawbster is one of the original Smite accounts.
Yes.
Actually, going all the way back. He and I think he, Lazarus, and Manny Pocket represent like numbers 0 through 15 of people that have activated their Smite account. Ra's been alive since then, and Lawbster has been the guy on the laser chicken since then.
I was really hoping for the Poseidon here for Lawbster. It's one of his favorite gods. It's one of my favorite gods. He's been a big Poseidon proponent, and it's excellent against the Fafnir if you're patient with your skills. You can't crack in him when he's in that dwarf form, but as soon as he transforms into the dragon, that's your opportunity to punish him for it. I felt like it could have worked well with this draft, but I guess they're worried about stacking slows where sprint can work so well against you, wingblade can work so well against you.
Makes sense.
They're going for the Ra is just looking for that burst damage.
Daji selected 10th overall here.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Pretty good. This character is in the top 5 as far as win rate is concerned. So getting your last pick,
Thumbs up.
I'll take it. SK Gaming, they've got a nice little draft here. Obey Alliance, well, they do too. When it all comes down to it, game number 3, who are you picking?
I've got Obey. I like both team comps, so I'll defer to which team I think is better, and that's Obey Alliance.
I'm going to have to agree with you on that one. Game 3, it's guaranteed to be the final one. It's Hindu, and it's David Rossi.
Thank God. That's all I can say. I'm glad you're here, David. You don't like that one, do you? Why don't you like it?
I'm profiling F-Dot right now.
Go tell me about him.
It's too much to list right now. We don't have time for
Well,
it. We
while
got to
you're-
get into
while
game
you're
number
thinking about
3.
it, what do you guys at home think are going to win this set? Obviously, this is the ultimatum. Game 1, 75 minutes. Game 2, was it 32, 34
Something like
minutes?
that.
Yeah, and then game 3, we'll see. One thing we do know is that Rafa's not going to get Gab.
That's a good one.
And
You
also,
soloed 2 people.
he did. And the other thing is that whenever Nemesis is on a team, the other team picks New War.
Seems to be that case.
Like, make sure New War can't be... Basically, Nemesis doesn't get a free target.
Well, you can stun out the Nemesis here before or during the shield, right? So you'll diminish any sort of healing she'll get upon getting CC'd. And on top of this, also, more importantly, is this last pick from CaptainTwig.
The Dodgy. Yeah, I mean, the guys in the desk were talking about it, totally.
Arachne and
high up there.
Ratatasker were banned instead.
Uh-oh. WhoDaBest is going to try and walk into 2. I'm not sure. He's going to be a little bit careful of that. It's just a little bit risky.
He's intercepting basic attacks from Ataraxia, just delaying the clear slightly.
Sure, but he had to be careful about the all-in. But they didn't all-in him. Instead, they wanted the wave clear to go and pressure the jungle some more and get this purple buff.
It buys enough time for the rotation from Faeles, from his own speed to the red buff. Can't stop the purple buff invade, but that's not his intent. His intent here is to find the kill. No blink, though, on Faeles. Went for the beads.
And Ataraxia's in trouble. Has to sprint. Eats an axe to the face. Round the corner comes Funballer, though, to try and cut off the angle.
The stun
But
again
the
from
stun
Faeles.
into stun is good, and this will not be a kill, I don't think.
Slice and dice onto Ataraxia. He's only level 1. He doesn't have the jump, but the body blocks from iRaffer. The stun from Ataraxia, the stun from iRaffer, and then the body blocks. The whole trifecta was needed to make sure that would survive. Imagine if Faeles had blink there.
Imagine if he did, but unfortunately not this time round. Now, going back to the Dodgy, you mentioned on the desk also mentioned about how well it's doing in the SPL. Has taken some nerfs, though, totally. So a little bit less damage overall coming
Sure.
out from the 1,000 claws of death, as I like to call it.
Still a good goddess to be able to cut into the thick of things. CaptainTwig abusing the fact that Faeles has left the right side of the map open, so he stole away those back Harpy camps, getting some extra net worth there.
And now Fail's going to look for the oracles. With Lawbster and Tail, they'll be fine to pick those ones up for themselves. At the moment, the experience is definitely in favor of Obey because of the way they started this game, stripping away a little bit more. And you guys at home, 81%.
Up and down like a roller coaster of emotions with the fans thinking about if it's Obey or SK that's going to win this best of 3 set. WhoDaBest, I like this Guardian selection. Put him on a more reactionary god.
Well, they had Amaterasu, and like you said, it's very similar to Amaterasu, where you can sit back and farm. Geb's the same way. Sit back and protect your backline. If he can just do that the whole game, he'll be in an okay spot. He has got Blink as well, so he can look for those frontline engages if they need it to allow Lawbster to get set up for a big old snipe.
SK in position to outclear Obey in the duel lane. Could look for offensive play. Blink's coming up for WhoDaBest in 15 seconds, but no ultimate. Xaliea dashing away from the root, but Ducky needs to worry about a lot of archers from Xaliea.
He does indeed. Now those archers will slowly fall down, but Twig is on the rotation. The dash is now down. Ducky just used it, and the pluck is good at the same time. But the pluck may not have been as good as they were hoping for. Ducky needs some cooldowns or some support, and he gets it from Faeles just in time.
Ducky counting his lucky stars there, just able to de-transform to get the jump to disengage there. The pluck could have been saved for a little bit more. What he should have done, Xaliea, was wait for the de-transformation, have Chulainn jump, and then upon landing from the jump, then you pluck him back in.
Yeah, these minions have been a bit awkward in this lane because of how the fighting unfolded as time went on there, but both level 4, well, all 4 of them level 4 at the moment. Ryan Hoppy's going to go for PrettyPriMe on. That Noir is level 5. You've got to be careful of that level 5 ultimate out from Noir. And if Xaliea gets a good ultimate off, or a good pluck, I should say, it could cause a couple of problems for SK Games.
That's what I thought he was going to be able to try to do.
Here we
Twig
go.
looking for it, finds not one target quite yet. Needs to hit the third, misses all 3.
Duke's
Twig off the mark.
Duke's too good, but it does set him up for a potential blue buff steal, although Twig is very low on mana now. They need to secure that to get them some mana back. Lawbster on a rotation. Twig out of mana completely is now Ducky still giving chase. Lawbster's just trying to line up a snipe, but he can't get in range in time. He could have used some abilities to speed himself up a little bit more, right?
Yes, he could have, but there's no ultimate from Ducky to set him up, so that unfortunate set of circumstances is not allowing any kills from SK Gaming. Knockup from WhoDaBest, trying to stop this purple buff invade.
Stopped it as well. I mean, the babies go down, but they do keep it alive for now. Got to be careful, though, that they don't go back in for another cheeky attempt. Funballer going to keep poking them all the way back out of SK's jungle.
Lawbster going for a different build yet again. Funballer going to get stunned out. The shield going to keep him topped off ever so slightly. These 2 mid-mages going for a different build yet again. Lawbster really likes this Book of Thoth. He wants to make sure that he'll never run out of mana. And as a mid-mage, it's so annoying when you just don't have that one last ability for either the disengage or to secure the kill.
Definitely right. I think we'll see some anti-heal this game, though, Tolly. Specifically when there's a Aurora in the game, you definitely want to make sure that he can't just continue to top off his team. And even in combat, the protections are very impactful.
Well, just off of the God Kits alone, Ducky has the anti-healing with Barbed Spear. Xaliea has it with Sickening Strike. Those are your 2 anti-healers, but I'm expecting potentially a Pestilence from Ducky to be able to really reduce it even further. Same thing can be said about Xaliea, however.
That's very true. But that'll be a little bit later in the game when that Pestilence comes online, because the main focus is his lane opponent and jungler to start off with for the solo laner in Xaliea. And for Ducky too. Rollout used by WhoDaBest, going to push Ataraxia all the way under his tower. Didn't find the knockup, but now in goes iRaffer looking for the hammer. Nice little side step from WhoDaBest, and a little giggle as well from the snowman.
That's true. Just got to taunt him where it's well-deserved. You know, you got to try to diminish those 2 solo kills from iRaffer in the last game, right? It's like, all right, iRaffer, you got 2 solo kills last game. Yeah, that was pretty good, but can you get another one?
Well, Transcendence now online for Funballer. He's already back in base and doing that. As the pluck hits Ducky, charges back towards safety, but lurking in the waters is going to cause some problems. The ultimate coming out as well, but a nicely timed leap will get him back to safety.
Yet again, not using the pluck after the transformation. The sprint was well timed from Ducky being able to stop the slow from lurking in the water. And Twig not wanting to invest into the ultimate to secure that kill.
But look at this, the investment in right means that SK have got an option on the left. The Gold Fury started up, Geb going to tank it up as long as possible. Too many members of Obey based at the wrong time there.
That's right.
The duo lane specifically both based, and that's going to cost him a Gold Fury. Very bad mistake.
SK just thinking that Ducky is that magnet bait from CaptainTwig's presence. This level 7 Dodgy that also hasn't gotten the blink is not making the plays happen. And that's very surprising to say that, because Dodgy has been one of the most aggressive assassins in the jungle. Twig is kind of known, I would say, for playing a little bit more reactionary than making the plays. Oh, Raffer, what are you doing, mate?
He just robbed him blind. He just walked in. To be fair, he's from Warrington, and those sort of people will rob you. I'm not going to lie. It happens. And Rafa just did exactly that. He just walked in, stole the sweets from the shop, and left again.
Ducky in the solo lane against Xaliea. Still a boxing/pillow match against these 2 solo
Pillow
laners.
match?
Yeah, they're just hitting each other with pillows. It's like a sleepover in the solo lane.
I never did a pillow fight. I've never had one.
What?
No, because I would have put bricks in it. Because that's what you really want to do. Like, if you're having a pillow fight, you want to...
I thought you were going to go with soap.
No,
But bricks. Can you even, like, lift a pillow filled with bricks?
I mean, you don't need a lot of bricks. You just need like 1 or 2, you know?
And they're not really filled with bricks. It's a brick.
True. But 2 is plural. They're still fighting those left-hand harpies. Anyway, level 8 for both the mid laner and jungler for SK Gaming, whereas a little bit of a lead for Prime as he's level 9. Twig still equal in the pace, though. The Crushers will soon be online for both the junglers as time goes on. And full boots completed for PrettyPriMe and Lawbster means they're a little bit more mobile at this stage now.
Especially with Lawbster already getting that mobility from his passive, it's going to be more difficult for CaptainTwig to lock him down. Not able to be stolen by the Celestial Beam. Lawbster tried, didn't want to commit, or didn't have the Searing Pain rather than steal that one away.
And now it's just continue to farm up. No buffs in the jungle for them to really look to take speed up soon for both the junglers right now. As multiple members of Obey head back to base. This time around it's okay for them to do that, as they already lost the Gold Fury by doing it last time.
That's very true. It was a record pace in the first game so far of this best of 3 set. At the 9-minute mark to get the Gold Fury, but here in game number 3, starting things off really quickly is SK getting it the 7-minute mark.
Blink in, Cataclysm used, but Ataraxia immediately responded with the beads to make sure there was no further follow-up available from Funballer. Nice attempt, but the beads now on cooldown.
Ducky, yet again, the primary focus here from CaptainTwig, plucking in this Ducky, but going to be able to sprint away, knocking up. The damage is really good.
But CaptainTwig's 1 hit from death thanks to Lawbster's beautiful snipe. Faeles is waiting on the ground for Twig to come down, and Twig's options were limited between a rock and a hard place. Dragon form pops up, and Lawbster's going to fall down. He nearly got a kill.
That's true.
On little old Xaliea there, but not to be. 2-1. Favor of Obey.
A nice little trade-off there. Not able to get under the safety of his tier 1 tower. iRaffer gonna transform back into the dwarf there as Xaliea plucks himself a little bit closer to the wave, not wanting to miss any Golder experience.
Now, if you can help it, that's for sure. And Xaliea, just like you said, teleports back in, gets the whole wave coming up. We'll see what happens next with this, because once again, game 1 we saw teleport for Xaliea. Game 2 we went sprint. Game 3 he's gone back to teleport.
Look at iRaffer just casually invading those back Harpy camps by himself.
I mean, steal it away, but he's not got
he's
the big
not
one.
gonna get
He's not got the big one.
Nope. Needs to jump over before he dies, and will do so safely. So at least stole the 2 little ones, able to build himself up slightly ahead of WhoDaBest.
Next Gold Fury is due up in about a minute and a half's time. It's only 1,000 gold lead for Obey, 1,500 experience. It's not doom and gloom, but the big difference is the mid laners, totally. Obviously, we saw PrettyPriMe didn't rotate to that right-hand side where Lawbster didn't. He fell down. And that level 12 is very important for a new war, specifically for that secondary relic.
That was about 3 waves that it was differentiated from PrettyPriMe and Lawbster. By not rotating, he got a wave, and during the death respawn timer / traveling back to the mid wave, Lawbster lost 2 waves, so PrettyPriMe gaining that 2-level advantage, and even more stacks available from his Warlock staff, trying to catch up to those Book of Thoth ones from Lawbster.
Looks like Funballer is going to go for the double stack build yet again on his Hunter this time around. Jing Wei's a bit of a different occurrence though, which I don't mind because of the fact that you can return to base so quickly, totally. Double stacking means it's not going to be too detrimental if you get poked out of lane while looking for that investment, but it will make it be a bit more impactful as the game goes on.
Obey not able to invade those back right Harpies. Oracles and left mids respawning at the same time as Obey secures themselves the right mids. PrettyPriMe in a pretty position, I'd say, to really do some damage here. Sitting at level 12, getting a second relic in the Jaegers, making him really difficult to lock down.
Speaking of the Jing Wei a little bit more, Tolly, hang on a second. WhoDaBest just rolled out, and now he's in a bit of World of Hurt as he gets hit by the hammer
Nice
by
stun.
iRaffer. Stun follow-up from PrettyPriMe is good, but the shield prevents most of the damage on WhoDaBest. Still, though, Obey feeling confident, going to march on forward and force SK back into their own half. Twig going to lead the charge, and WhoDaBest so scared, in fact, he's going to blink to safety.
He blinked away from iRaffer's stunning spit there. He could have actually just blinked aggressively and look for the stun off of the Cataclysm and then into the knockup. Everyone from Obey Alliance was actually right through that little corridor. That's the difference that you can tell if a player is willing to make a play or if he's just rather reset and look for, you know, a more prime time opportunity. But if they're all grouped as 4, I don't think it's going to get much better than that.
Sure, but it is his opening set after all. Xaliea had to use his pluck there. He was actually looking to escape, but instead he's in a bit of a trouble. However, he's got CaptainTwig around, and now when they invest on Xaliea, Twig turns up to go straight in on Faeles.
This is the basic attack, so not going to slow out Faeles there. Making the rotation is Lawbster underneath. Ducky not able to find the knock-up because of the nice pluck from Xaliea.
Bring him back is the plan. He's going to get
got
Ducky
hit.
at least, and Ducky's going to come in towards Prime, who was waiting to capitalize with the support of Twig.
No immunity from Ducky with that ultimate being down. Great opportunity. Ultimate on the right and ultimate on the left. Ataraxia jumping away, but Funballer is using the ultimate.
Oh, he missed!
Not in time. The knockup will set up Funballer for the kill.
And iRaffer can't really do much but watch. No ultimate available for him. Ultimate rains out, though, from PrettyPriMe, as the gigglers of the duo lane, the SK Gaming duo lane, walk away with a kill.
Just goes to show you that they could still have a lot of fun despite playing a very stressful competitive SPL set.
Yeah, that's the main thing. You've got to enjoy the game still.
After 75 minutes of action, like, it's not even whether or not you're enjoying the game, it's whether or not you have the endurance at that point in time.
Sure, and that's one of the reasons, I guess, Sully, that we never really go past best of 5s, because you can imagine doing a best of 7 as a player. As a player in a best of 7, that'd be crazy.
What about 2 best of 5 double eliminations?
Well, back to back?
In a grand finals.
I'm good.
Let's say one team, the winning team loses to the lower bracket team, and then there needs to be another best of 5.
Interesting. Let's hope that never happens.
Can you imagine casting 2 best of 5s that all went 75 minutes?
Yeah, I can. I can imagine it. I don't want it to happen, but I can definitely imagine it. 3,500 experience for Obey, 2,500 gold here. The one thing I'm interested in is what Jing Wei does with a build. Funballer's build choice is very interesting to me. Will he be looking for the crit option? Because I don't think we've got a Thorns on the side of Obey just yet. And one thing that Jing Wei does have in her kit is free kit, thanks to the free crit. I'm sorry. Thanks to explosive bolts.
Ataraxia getting exploded. iRaffer stuns out Funballer. Nice shield from WhoDaBest. 3 SK members trying to siege this tier 1 dual lane tower. CaptainTwig was making the rotation. Stutter step for the Oracles, but now committing.
iRaffer's still in trouble. Getting knocked up over and over and over again. He'll try and jump towards safety. He's going to fall down, but now Twig has arrived. Fails in a bit of pressure, but Twig took more damage than he had bargained for. Luckily enough, the power line will secure him one of the kills, and Funballer's waiting. Not long enough, though. Now Twig could go aggressive with the support of Prime.
Still has the shield available if he wants to. Xalia's wrapping around underneath, but it was spotted and identified. SK Gaming pinged him out where he could have been rotating from. Funballer, though. That's why you picked the Jing Wei right there, to be able to agility away from the plucks.
Yeah, I thought the shield was going to be good to prevent some of the damage at least. He can't prevent the pluck, obviously. 4-4 now, though, as SK starts to answer back in the dual lane. Funballer starting to get things going for himself. A bit of momentum for this Hunter for the first time in this set.
Should have Devil Gloves completed upon his back. And like you mentioned before, yeah, without Thorns on Xaliea or even onto iRaffer, this could be the prime time opportunity to get some crit under his belt. Lawbster has Searing Pain, but the Gold Fury's not low enough yet.
Do you like what iRaffer did, though? He's actually gone for the Horrific Emblem, which I think is a very impactful ability. A relic that not many people use. Still, though, Lawbster under pressure and actually forced to beads there. Worried about being fully invested on snipe hits too. Mainly onto Prime. Funballer forced out of the fight again. Xaliea now lurking in the waters. Very quick he is, thanks to the sprint that was also being used there too. But now all the members of Obey a little bit healthier than that of SK Gaming, but still not feeling confident enough to look towards the goal.
I don't think SK will be confident either without this Searing Pain onto Lawbster, so a bit of a wash for both teams. SK Gaming, though, did secure the first one at the 8-minute mark. However, I think they did spot out a couple of Obey members back into base. They will certainly go for it. Celestial Beam, it does a lot to confirm damage.
Yeah, risky play to try and go for that Gold Fury just there, especially with no raw ultimate available. Ataraxia's full burst combo could definitely swing and connect and potentially find them a kill there, but instead, SK give it up, wisely so. An Oracle Pit is in their favor. Lawbster's in trouble though, no beads. No beads, he burnt them last time round.
Aegis is there. Aegis bought him enough time to survive. iRaffer goes into the Draconic form. He jumps in, but not onto Lawbster. Wants to take out Ducky instead. Fails.
He's
forced
bleeding.
to disengage. iRaffer going to take out the jungler. It's a 2-0 for Obey.
Blink from Twig, he's looking for the teleport. Can he find it onto Lawbster? No, Powwow time.
He connects. He needs to cancel it, but the Searing Pain prevents gets the pull. CaptainTwig finds the kill, but at what cost?
No,
he actually teleports into those speed buff. Great disengage from
now,
Twiggy.
Back to the duo lane we go. Gold Fury start up and below half. Ataraxia loses that trade for a second, but with the support of Prime, they can go back to farming it up. Xaliea turns up. As
The
does
blink.
Rafa. Blink from WhoDaBest.
Forces a reset.
Can he get the gold? Airstrike!
Obey!
Get the Gold Fury. WhoDaBest is about to fall down. Cataclysm used. Roll out in a corner. Oh. The last man begins, and our Funballer's on the run, but Xalia's giving chase with the sprint.
He's going to try, but the question is agility available or not? The pluck into the stun, forcing the beads. Ataraxia going to find that one under the tier 1 tower. Obey confirmed the second Gold Fury of the game, their first one at the 18-minute mark, feeling very confident. Not going for the tier 1 tower,
I'm surprised by that, yeah. Why didn't they go for the tier 1 tower?
It's very possible that they would want to just back as soon as possible to confirm the Pyromancer or even the Fire Giant right here and right now.
I guess. I mean, I think Fire Giant's a little bit too difficult to try and go for at this
20
stage.
seconds on Funballer, they could at least guarantee themselves a Pyromancer.
I guess, but I still think the tower would have been easier. Or maybe they just trusted in the minions. They trusted in the
it
minions
was
more than I
close.
did. It wasn't close enough, but whittled down with an inch of its life.
That's right. They can always go for round number 2 a little bit later. 500 gold. There's nothing that must be prioritized right off the bat, especially if you're going to position yourselves for a different objective. Ducky in a lot of trouble
really
trying to
is.
run.
But he's going to go back in with the Thorns, and Twig's taking more damage than he bargained for. The double reflect came into play. Thorns and the Nemesis shield meant that CaptainTwig ended his own life.
Xaliea plucking away after knocking 3 members up. SK are now in a good opportunity to get themselves the Pyromancer in a 5-on-4. CaptainTwig not responding for another 30 seconds. The beads was not available. I think it might have just came back up, but Magai's Cloak was procced.
Yeah, a bit of an awkward position, but SK, as you said, going towards the Pyromancer area, going to at least get ward coverage. Lawbster going to tank up, watch the fog over the wall. That does quite a bit of damage in the early stages, as you can see by how much Funballer just took. But he will sustain back up with Devour's Gauntlets and the raw heals. But as soon as that happens, SK realize it's not a fight they want to take.
Ataraxia recognized that SK aren't really going to commit towards this Pyromancer, so what does he do? He just farms the mid lane, instantly goes to the left. Look how many archers are there waiting for him. Probably about 3 waves worth.
Is that all archers? That's pretty impressive if it is.
Well, not all of them, but like that back line.
Oh, yeah.
It could have been maybe 6.
They could have just grouped up for a minute or two. Now, 20 minutes into this game, in Game 3, the last set of the day. Can Obey put this to bed, or will SK, after Game 1, bounce back and take him another 75 minutes to win it again? We'll find out. At the moment, though, Xaliea just pushing out the right-hand side. His build's coming along nicely. Spirit Robe more than likely next up for him. And Divine Ruin is online for PrettyPriMe in the mid lane to do some of the anti-heal alongside a Brawler's Beat Stick for CaptainTwig.
It's looking really good here for the side of Obey Alliance. They definitely know the goal of their team composition and what they're really facing off against. Lawbster trying to find the snipe, but it's off the mark.
Twig takes to the sky immediately on his power line, looking to try and bring in some targets and gets WhoDaBest. WhoDaBest bursted very, very heavily there. Still alive, though, as the pluck off the mark. WhoDaBest can live with 1 health. Meanwhile, in the front of the fight, Xaliea lurking in the waters, trying to get back into this fray, get the damage off onto Ducky. Obey in a healthy position, as is Lawbster, but Twiggy round the back.
Trying to wrap around underneath here. Ataraxia going to avoid the Celestial Beam. Ducky going into the backline with the Warcry. Still thinking about that right timing is Twig. iRaffer going to tank up the tower for a little bit, but now minions are here and Twig could engage.
Totally, this is really forcing the issue now, and the issue is being forced onto Faeles, but he's still alive, dashes back to safety. iRaffer and Ataraxia both getting low, as Lawbster and Funballer invested a lot of damage into them. They do get the tier 1 tower, though, Obey, and they do get away with their lives.
But not finding a single kill onto SK Gaming means that they can't go for the tier 2 tower. They might be able to go for Pyromancer here. There aren't any ultimates on SK, but Searing Pain, such a short cooldown that it's back up.
Yeah, with these bases, though, Funballer and WhoDaBest might be able to look to try and sneak away this Pyromancer. It's only Xaliea really here. iRaffer and Prime are lurking around, but they're pretty low in terms of mana for Prime and health for iRaffer. And now with all members of SK here, Faeles is coming around the back, but he's looking at iRaffer and not at Prime. Prime got away with murder there, not getting spotted. And that could spell demise for SK Gaming now as Twig and Ataraxia turn back up.
Lawbster missing the Searing Pain, but Ataraxia missing out that axe stun. Ducky gonna get stunned in place here. iRaffer It's a pluck onto Ducky instead,
Watch
taking
Twig,
a little bit of damage.
Twig went in, and Twig's going all the way back out the hard way. Xaliea gets a good ult off on 4 targets. His 5 shots rain down. Not enough to find a kill, but it did get the Aegis out of Funballer there, who's a little bit worried about his health. WhoDaBest gets a Cataclysm off before he falls down. Nice knock up from Ducky to follow that, however. But still, Xalia's strong enough. Faeles jumps in, looking for the kill, and Ducky gets credit for it onto Ataraxia. Funballer wanted to keep going, but the rest of their team were not interested. They wanted the objective.
PrettyPriMe used his ultimate before getting all 4 soul gem stacks up there, so he didn't get the bonus damage on the fire shards. I don't think it would have really swayed the team fight that much, but man, CaptainTwig putting himself too far out of position, I would want to say there. He was in the middle of trying to teleport to one of his teammates, but the damage was just too much to handle.
10-7 then. Gold lead still 6,000 in Obey's favor, but SK do get a bit more mobility now. How does Jing Wei's passive work with that? I've not even played Jing Wei to work that out yet with the Pyromancer buff.
Well,
Does she fly even quicker?
I wouldn't know. I don't really play Hunter.
I
If I
just look it up.
I don't play Jing Wei. I would assume that it should. It definitely
That's
works.
OP.
Where movement speed, I would assume.
Yeah, she just gets deeper in the jungle even quicker.
Because it's an
guess.
X amount of seconds, not a
Sure.
set amount of distance.
Sure, because you can use abilities as well, as long as you're not in combat. So Gold Fury started up immediately by SK using the Pyromancer to their advantage. Snipe available for Lawbster, and that's what they'll be looking to secure this with. There it is, and SK get a Gold Fury. iRaffer and PrettyPriMe, the only 2 hanging around, couldn't really stop it. iRaffer wants to try and make them pay, but instead he eats a couple of explosive bolts to the face, and that'll be that.
4,000 gold in the lead is Obey Alliance, despite SK getting themselves that Gold Fury. Baiting the purple buff yet again. iRaffer trying to be a nuisance dwarf. The rest of his teammates leading the charge in mid lane. They want to dive Lawbster.
Lawbster's got to be careful. Got to get hit by the pluck. Forced to beads defensively. And now the beads are on cooldown. Aegis down for another 69 seconds. Raw needs protection. And bad.
That's right. He needs somebody around him. WhoDaBest was not there to help cleanse that pluck initially. WhoDaBest is caught in a 1v1 against CaptainTwig while the rest of the teams are going over this tier 2 tower.
Yeah, I think that was just trying to keep him in combat so he couldn't blink Cataclysm in was what the play seemed to have been there from SK Gaming. Won't be able to hold it though. Obey will just limp back to their own half of the map. They tried to make good of a bad situation that we just ended up in with losing that Gold Fury for free. iRaffer will get the tier 1 tower on the left-hand side on his own. He soloed the tier 1 tower.
As he soloed 2 people in the last game.
Yep. He's having
Standard stuff.
having
What
a
a
good day.
set from iRaffer.
What a great set overall. He even stole that purple too.
That's right. In front of everybody.
Although maybe he hung around a little bit too long. Funballer more interested in the minions. And talking about Funballer's build, he has gone for some crit, Tolly.
He's going for it, but it's only tier 2 of the Shoryuken. Not going to go for Wind Demon or the
Shoryuken.
Poison Star. Not having the gold to finish it quite yet. Probably will go for both. If I were to guess, he should go for a Poison Star to start things off. Wants to diminish some of that damage outburst from CaptainTwig's dodgy.
Yeah, will hurt a little bit if he can find the target. At the moment, though, Obey just going to happy to farm up their own half of the jungle. SK Gaming fought well back into this game so far. Totally, it's looking like we're going late again.
It's 25 minutes in. It's 7
feeling
to
it.
10. It definitely does feel that way. A lot of towers still remain, but it's only going to take one team fight to really blow things out of proportion. And there's no Giannis, so
That's true.
maybe not.
Maybe, maybe not. But PrettyPrime's build is something that I'm very scared of right now. Look how far ahead he is in terms of his build. Divine Ruin Online, Soul Gem, Soul Revo, fully with that Warlock Sash. Whereas his lane opponent, Lawbster, he's gone for an expensive build here. That's why he's further behind. But no Soul Gem, still not working on his 5th item.
The only thing he's really missing for more damage outburst from one single ability is that ethereal staff. I got hit one time when I was playing a game against a Through Space and Time that was point blank range.
Right.
And it was like a 1,400 damage. And 450 of that damage was from items between the Soul Gem proc, Soul Reaver, and E-Staff.
That combo. We'll see if that works out going forward. WhoDaBest trying to get into the jungle to find out if the Fire Giant's being done. Instead, he eats a hammer to the head. Axis off the mark from Ataraxia, and a quick top-up of health from Lawbster means it's going to be a fallback from Obey.
5-on-5, 26 minutes in as both teams are flirting around this Fire Giant pit area. Pyromancer not responding for about another minute. The back Harpies are going to get started out by SK, waiting for Obey Alliance to pull the trigger first.
Well, they're going to pull the trigger onto Ducky, and the crits rain down on Xalia's head, though, from Funballer, which will make him walk back towards the lane of safety. And this is kind of the call here. SK just want to farm up, Tolly. They need to catch up in terms of builds, in terms of levels, so just make sure Obey don't get anything for free, and just all the while keep farming minions wherever possible.
That's true. They're playing the defensive waiting game.
Yeah.
They're very content about not getting any more towers until they are comfortable with their 6 item slots. They need to be mindful about Xalia's Plux. It's been pretty solid here, forcing out a lot of beads. And that's going to be the difference between walking over wards or traveling as a pack.
Well, they're trying to bait them into a fight now, and in jumps iRaffer, Xaliea 2, and he's actually going to use the Lurking Waters to force Funballer out. Big ultimate coming out from the Fire Shards there, didn't do as much damage as you hope, but Twig now in the sky on the parallel, looking to try and bring some targets in.
Lawbster cleanses it with a Searing Pain, but it's Ducky caught between a rock and a hard place. First victim of this team fight. SK Gaming need to fight this one out 4-on-5.
Raph in a bit of trouble, too far forward, the rest of his team dipped out, but now that they've turned him back up, they could turn this one around. Keep an eye on Xaliea, he'll have a pluck available. Funballer doing good work on the right-hand side, though, at chipping away at Obey, trying to collapse around. They can settle for a Pyromancer, though, happy with the work they've done.
Definitely can do a lot of burst damage. Obey Alliance securing themselves an objective
Oh, they're going
after
for
the
it.
pick.
They're going for it straight away. Fire Giant immediately. Funballer's here, WhoDaBest doesn't have his blink, or has blink available. But
Lobster no ulti. Lobster no ulti, but does have these airstrikers. Funballer. They're playing around as though Lobster does have Searing Pain, and that's smart.
Well, I mean,
even if you don't know, better safe than sorry.
the cooldown's insanely low anyway, Tolly. And then when you think about the builds this year, you're going to get some cooldown reduction. Soul Gem is going to be one of those cooldown reduction items that are about to be picked up by Lobster. He should have enough gold for that when he returns back from base.
It's definitely possible here. It's WhoDaBest going to go for an Emilzy style now, picking up this Relic Dagger, but not selling off his boots quite yet. No purchase of the Shogun's Kusari, similar to what Emilzy did in his set. And Poison Star is going to be the selection for Funballer. Now working on that Wind Demon here. Wants to really synergize more with a Crisp because there's just no Thorns, there's no Height of an minion, there's no Reflect damage.
Problem is, Tolly, is there's a little lack of pen, only relying on that execution. I mean, it's not the worst time in the world. Obviously, execution is amazing. Well, that's all the pen he's going to be relying on this game if he's going for those crits at the moment. We'll see if he invests elsewhere and changes anything else out of his build, but it feels very weird to me to see a Transcendence or a Devourer's Gauntlet that's getting sold after putting all the effort of stacking it up.
That's true, because Transcendence is ability-based and Devourers is more basic attack-based, so maybe Transcendence will be the sell because it's your first item purchased anyway. It gets you through that early to mid-game hump, and then you're really looking for that late-game prowess to pack in with maybe a Deathbringer.
We'll see what happens. At the moment, Fire Giant start up again. Ducky going to lead in SK to check what's going on, and Ducky gets plucked into danger. The nice shield came out from WhoDaBest to absorb some of that damage, but Thorns already invested by Ducky means they're not available for the next fight, and still investment on Ducky, who's getting plucked.
Okay.
But a snipe from Lobster deleted Twig!
Absolutely demolished. Xaliea now going to need to run away
Time's in
for the
trouble.
moment. Funballer feeling himself airstriking in towards Xaliea. Going into the Draconic form is iRaffer. WhoDaBest trying to find the engager. His ultimate's up, his blink is up, but the call from SK is to go for the Fire Giant.
Totally, I think they made a mistake there. They invested on Xaliea. They should have looked at Prime. Prime was a much better target to be looking at, even though he was grouped amongst the team. Like, one of the front big playmakers, Twig, was already dead. Fire Giant, though, started up, and it won't take long to bring down with how much damage Funballer's raining, but they've got to respect Xaliea.
Oh, Funballer just dashed into Xaliea. The pluck defensively being used. Lobster's heal topping off Ducky for the moment. Fire Giant was reset, being pulled yet again by SK. iRaffer still here, still looking for the disrupt.
Disarm on 2. Good little play from iRaffer, actually. Just buying his team time to get back in the mix. Xalia's here as his Ataraxia, but the snipe came through and deleted iRaffer. Faeles gets credit for the kill. Prime in a bit of trouble on the one side as Xalia's being full forced again. The crits are doing God's work right now, but it's not enough to get a kill. Ducky can't get in range.
Xaliea barely able to pluck away into that tier 2 tower. iRaffer did fall, but Xaliea lives. Means that Obey can still hold on for the moment. It will be a 3-on-5 while Xaliea travels back to the base. And with the sustain from Lobster's Raw and the Geb shields from WhoDaBest, SK Gaming realistically never have to leave this area.
And the healing is starting to make a difference now. You can really feel it in these engagements. Obey having to limp back to base, whereas SK Gaming stand around, sustain up, and then stagger their backs a little bit more to make sure they're not in a real awkward position.
32 minutes into the game, 9 to 11.
You can see
the kills.
You can see the cameraman just point out how many sentry wards there are there, totally.
So many. And that's what there needs to be around Fire Giant. You need to deny vision more than you need to have it yourself.
But the best thing about Sentry Ward is it denies it and it gives it you.
That's true.
It's a win-win.
So, all things considered, if there's only one ward and you control that one sentry ward, you win the vision control battle.
God, you're a good profiler. You know what you're talking about.
That's
I'll tell
right.
you that much.
I profile the hell out of those words.
You did. You did. SK were going to Gold Fury, though, for free, as Obey was so focused around the Fire Giant. They didn't really care about the Gold Fury. Most of them are at full build. Near enough. A couple of items still missing, though. Blessing on Xaliea still needs to be replaced. And the Hide of the Urchin, more than likely, if it's going to be a Hide of the Urchin, we've seen some very late ones just lately. iRaffer could look for that, or maybe Mantle of Discord.
It's looking like it's going to be Hide of Urchin because Mantle of Discord has the different tree portrait there. There's only one.
That's a free
and
fire.
The Obey Alliance snuck away a Fire Giant. SK were caught sleeping.
They really were. I don't think they expected the burst to come out there, but that has just changed the game.
Didn't they pick iRaffer like a minute ago and they didn't secure Fire Giant themselves? They
Well,
just
they
like
got gold.
let that go.
They got gold and then based and then gave it up. I don't know.
That was
Awkward. Awkward position for SK Gaming. They got caught with the pants around their ankles, and now they're going to get caught at the Phoenixes because they're not going to look to try and defend these tier 2s at this stage solely.
Not the tier 2 mid, that's for certain. It's at 50% health, very easy to pick off. Left side will fall shortly after. Raffer leading the charge, but his teammates a little bit too far forward.
He's like a crazy dwarf. He actually suits playing that character, Raffer. I really
I
feel
could see him like cosplaying and role-playing as Fafnir.
that's fair.
Or Bacchus.
Well,
he does that IRL.
He does the IRL, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Back to base go Obey, though. Going to use that extra gold to just top themselves up, I guess. A couple of items that had to be finished, as we mentioned. There's the Blessing Soul by Xaliea and the Hide of the Urchin online. A Nemean Lion for Xaliea. There we go. Just to answer some of this crit. So now he can kind of box a little bit more with Xaliea. With Funballer, sorry.
It's definitely going to be a nice look with all that crit, but not committing towards Deathbringer quite yet is a nice opportunity for Funballer to still stray away from crit if he really wants to. Devil Gloves is good enough sustain to still really stay relevant in a lot of these team fights.
So the group up down mid at the moment as they head towards the left-hand side and find themselves a nice little red buff. And it's all about getting the buffs for themselves, denying it from SK Gaming. And SK's been in this spot a couple of times so far today. But will this be the last time?
We'll find out in the next episode of the Smite Pro League.
Well, do we end the show now?
European version.
Do we end the show now? Is that what we're supposed to do?
Scratch
Just end?
frame. To be continued.
We should just pause and be like, to be continued on Thursday.
Catch us next time.
Well, Wednesday, the Pro League continues. Don't forget, North America is going to be underway soon enough. It's 11-9 right now. And there's an early ult from Prime just to set things up. Remember the early ult? Oh my god! Funballer's health! Goodbye, my friend. You will be missed. Pow! Didn't connect. He got away with the
Doesn't
fire
have the
shots.
range to find the second or the third onto the little birdie running away. Barely able to cut the distance. That was the
That was
shortest
so
jump
much
ever.
damage. That was so much damage. That saw Funballer disappear.
That
I
was
like,
a soul
wow.
gem proc probably from PrettyPriMe that really put it in the hurt.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, he even had to use the Aegis as well to keep himself alive as long as possible. But good time in the Aegis just to stay alive. Obey get what they wanted, though. In the Phoenix on the left-hand side. Now they just get to group mid lane. CaptainTwig going to take a very quick trip back to base just to top himself back up to full health. He took the brunt of the damage in that last engagement. And I think that's Obey just going to hang around then, I guess, for a minute or two, wait for their teammates to get back.
They definitely still have plenty of flexibility with a Fire Giant around their waist for another minute. Going to secure themselves this Pyromancer during the downtime. Full builds on all their members here. A lot of physical power.
I will say,
384 on Ataraxia to be exact.
if Obey will go on to win this game, credit where it's due, where they fought 75 minutes in game 1 to only lose, to then come back in game 2 and game 3 and win them back-to-back with some... It's not easy to play that many games totally back-to-back at this level.
Definitely not. It's definitely not easy to try to win a 75-minute game only to lose game number 2 for SK.
Yeah, and now SK could be losing game 3, but maybe the throw could happen. Maybe it could happen. Keep an eye on Lawbster looking for the snipes and Funballer. They're both grouped together, which isn't the greatest position they want to be in. But Obey playing it very safe.
They're just waiting for some fire minions on
want
the
the red
left
buff?
side, probably. Red buff is a nice idea.
Well, I mean, I guess they're looking to do exactly what they did last time and use
Yeah.
Prime's ult to go, and you're all half health.
And Fire Giant's about to fade away anyway, so there's plenty of time to reevaluate and assess what is the necessary steps towards victory.
I think they're just Chulainn.
You think they is trolling?
Yeah. They're like, you know what? I don't think the casters have casted enough yet.
You think they're punishing us?
Yeah, I don't know
Would
what
the players do that?
I don't know what I did wrong.
Are
Did
they
you
on
do something?
strike?
Did you say something to these guys? Did you upset them last week?
No. PrettyPriMe hosted me last night. He loves me.
Did you say thank you?
Yeah.
You sure?
I tweeted at him and everything.
You better.
Thanks, PrettyPriMe.
Oh, no, you can't say it now. That doesn't count. You're supposed to say it when it happens.
That was my second thank you.
Okay. So Fire Giant due to spawn in 20 seconds time. SK Gaming will not look to defend it. They've got the whole base to try and defend on their own. They have to accept this Fire Giant's going to go down. Obey not wanting to make a misstep whatsoever here. Could have looked for the tier 2 in mid-Tolly. Chose against it. Instead, let's get the Fire Giant and go again. The Phoenix on the left will respawn eventually, but probably about the same time as when the siege is happening on the other Phoenix, which is the right one.
The red ping came out for Obey on the right side Phoenix. That's their next step. They have the minions trickling down the right side. Raffer's making sure of that. Xaliea making sure the speed buff is going to be Obey's side, not SK's.
And already you can see Xaliea, Raffer will get that speed, as you said. Give it over to CaptainTwig just to refresh that. I don't know if he really needed both, but maybe his last one was about to run out. Ducky will lead in the charge, and there's the ultimate, and that will be go for Obey. Immediately, though, Ducky goes to the forefront, trying to cause some problems. And the Aegis was actually used there by Funballer to keep himself completely healthy, so he didn't get all in. Xaliea taking a lot more damage than he bargained for. Still taking the Phoenix up. Snipe! Off the mark from Lawbster. Ataraxia gets a kill on Ducky. The front line is slowly being whittled away. Obey have done the work they needed to at least get the front liners down.
There's two dead from SK Gaming. Obey Alliance could easily go into the right side Phoenix, and that's exactly what they'll do. Some fire minions trickling down the left. They could look to get that Phoenix as well, or could just straight up go for the mid one. Lawbster doesn't have the snipe available to defend this one.
Yeah, 5 minions to the right, 5 minions to the left. Left Phoenix has respawned, but stuck in the middle with Obey is SK Game with only 3 members standing. And they're not the tankiest of targets, these three. Xalia's going to be lurking and hunting. Raffer goes in on Funballer just to disarm it. A nice hammer on Lawbster will slow that down too. The snipe hits Ataraxia, but it's not enough to bring him down. The Phoenix, however, does fall.
And the left side to the fire minions will fall as well, but Obey Alliance not feeling confident enough to go for the end, despite Ducky and WhoDaBest being respawning in 10 seconds.
I don't know what we did wrong.
We did something.
I don't know what we did.
You know what? It's because you're back. They wanted to punish you,
It's my
Hinderman.
fault. It's my fault. Take 2 days off in 2 years, and okay, I guess that's going to be the case. Very, very tricky situation now for SK Gaming. Not often do you see anybody really come back from 3 Phoenixes down within reason. They do have the potential. It's the burst that they're really lacking in this comp to really try and make that defense sort of happen to an extent. He's going to rely a lot on Lawbster, more than anything else, to find a big snipe. But you saw what happened when he hit Ataraxia then, didn't?
Yeah, a lot of
Didn't get a
damage.
kill.
1,000 damage almost to be exact. There needs to be some follow-up damage afterwards to look for the secure, though.
Waiting patiently in the mid lane now is Obey for the 5 minions to come down. They're all going to group up, hoping SK misstep and push out the base. But SK won't be going anywhere other than that middle Phoenix. Do they want to really take the fight at the Phoenix, at the Titan, or do they take it before it? That's the real question. That's the troublesome part of what we do next here as SK Gaming. It looks like they're going to have to defend at the Titan. They need a big Blink Cataclysm coming out from Geb to make an impact at the right time on the right targets.
Trying to go for the end here in the throne room. Obey Alliance, they got game number 2. They're going for it all here in the best of 3 set.
And Ataraxia already forced out, but there's in the backline Twig looking for the kill, and we'll find it onto Lawbster. Now with Lawbster down, next on the list could be Ducky, as the Powwow doesn't pull anybody in, but Prime gets a kill on Ducky, and with that Faeles takes out Ataraxia though. That's game. We're done. 2-1, Obey Alliance. They fought through the struggles and made it out the other side.
They definitely did here. It's been a long day here casting the SPL European side of things here, Hindu Man. And I'm ready for a drink.
You ready for a drink? Been a long one,
Yeah,
Tolly?
it's been a long one here, Hindu,
You
man.
struggled through that one?
It was a rough one, but what can I say? It's been a rough one for both of these teams here in the SPL European.
Really has. And with that, who do you guys think is MVP? That's the real question of that game, and technically, I guess, of the set, it could be said. To an extent, there's definitely one for you guys to watch back at home, especially to your friends too. Make sure they watch that first game back just to see what it's like to go really late in Season 5 at the highest level. We're going to head over to Tom and Aggro to talk more.
Obey Alliance take this one in 3 games. Fantastic stuff coming out from SK Gaming. Just not enough to bring home the win.
Look, Obey needed this win. Like I said, at the beginning of this set, this had to be a win for Obey, and it wasn't pretty by any stretch. I mean, the 75-minute game, that one's almost 50 minutes. It took longer than Obey would have liked, and you can tell there's still plenty that they need to clean up. But a win is a win, and at the end of the day, they get their W in that column, but you can tell that this Obey team has a lot to work on still.
That's the biggest key to take home there, Ryan, is the fact that this will just come up as a W later on. But for right now, this team lost a single game to an SK Gaming team that was arguably the worst in the league with a brand new substitute support. This is not a scenario you want to be in. And Obey, like you said, absolute must win for me. It's good that they took it home, but they have to take the VODs home as well and fix these issues.
And look, I have no doubt that they will. I've got plenty of faith in these team. Every single guy on this roster is a veteran who has been there, done that, had great success at the SPL level, not only just, winning games in the regular season, but going on to the World Championship and performing there. iRaffer's a 2-time World champion. These guys know how to win, and I've got no doubt that they will. But if they want to try and make this spring land coming up, Smite Masters, they've got to start to improve quickly.
CaptainTwig was your selection as the MVP, and that feeds directly into what you were talking about, mentioning veteran leadership, etc. I mean, CaptainTwig has made every single land at this point.
And you know what? Like I said, they win this set, but that is in jeopardy unless this team starts to really pump it up and play towards where we know they can play.
Right.
I'm not going to sit here and be critical of your typical 8 seed all the time and, eviscerate them or whatever, because that's just kind of what you expect. What we expect from Obey is to be able to compete for the best team in the world, not just in Europe. And so that's why I'm kind of all over them about it, because to make sure I want to drive it home that they are capable of winning it all. Wow, we're real high-res hours here, aren't we?
I mean, you saw Tolly, right? Is he also running the replays? I have no idea what's going on, but CaptainTwig knows exactly what's happening. And yeah, it's appreciation via expectation when you look at a team like this. And this win is necessary, but that's about it. It's kind of like eating your greens at dinner, because when you watch this squad succeed later on, that's gonna be a different story.
Look, again, they get the win. We're good. Just hope to continue to see more from the Obey boys as they move on this year.
That does earn Obey some points, and they're going to be moving up in the standings, but the schedule also going to be moving on. Obey not playing later on this weekend. It'll be Rival and Mouse playing up twice. That first match being SK versus Perp. Energy takes on Mouse, and then Mouse take on Rival.
This is going to be a really big week for those Rival guys as well. They got off to a great start. They took that loss at Dignitas, and how are they going to be able to bounce back? Look, SK and Mouse Sports are your 2 easiest matchups on paper so far through the year, though Obey Alliance has proven that they might be in that category as well. If Rival's able to find these 2 victories, that ties them with Dignitas at the top of VU, and they're sitting really pretty.
That's true. Dignitas did drop one earlier on today, formerly undefeated. But now Team Dignitas has been exposed. They lost earlier to their opposition Energy. So now taking a look at where everybody else is, SK Gaming on the bottom. And, oh, man, unfortunately, I think it's time for them to get comfortable.
It's going to be a long year for SK unless they continue to improve. You could tell, I mean, look, this is a rough week for them. They bench their support. They bring in a sub, and you don't know if that's going to be their long-term solution there. I didn't see anything that tells me that should be their long-term solution in the support role, but you've got some time now. You only have one more game this week. Get ready. Take a look at the minor league coming up on Saturday, because there's plenty of good talent down there in the support role that I think SK could bring up. They just need a breath of fresh air, in my mind. They need someone who's going to come in energized, ready to play and ready to play to win, and that they can kind of carry that momentum and try and get their season jump started.
That's why I liked this move. Even if WhoDaBest isn't the guide to go to for the rest of the season, identify the issue and move on from it, and then see what works. And as you tinker things out, taking a deeper look at the SK roster, myself and Ryan are doing. But of course, the guy who's known for taking a deeper look at a little bit of everything. It's Ataraxia on the line with Hinduman.
Yeah, thanks so much, Tom. I'm joined by the Welsh wizard in the Duo lane himself. Ataraxia, how you doing, buddy?
I'm not bad. Welsh wizard, I do like that. That should go really nicely with my future of just playing mages right now. Or,
Yeah.
you know, I'm going to copy Emilito and do that going forward in the SPL, because...
I was going to say, because like,
Bit of a rough
you only
start,
played Ullr today, right?
Yeah, I did. Bit of a mistake, that one, I think.
Well, talk to me a little bit about game one. Like, it's not often you go that deep in the game before, and 75 minutes of hell and turmoil, and Giannis banned from now on. Is that what's going to happen?
I think so, yeah. We found game one was... We found it really difficult to play into Giannis. Every time we went to contest a Fire Giant or a Phoenix, he'd get the Giannis ult, he'd pretty much hit us, and we'd have to back off. Even if we didn't die, it was a bit of a rough one, and I think we kind of lost our chance early. We made a lot of mistakes to push our lead that we did have. Which sucked, but you know, we learned the lesson for it. I would class that first game as it's you know a back and forth game,
Yes.
but not in a good way, in a very bad way, where it's not really amazing plays that are keeping teams in it. It's really bad plays and team throws that are keeping teams in it, which is a bit embarrassing for both us and SK. But you know,
So
we're here to improve, right?
That's true, and it's at the start of the season still, early days, but at the same time, talk to me about your start of the season. It's probably not gone as you guys wanted.
No, not exactly. But we've it's a new season. We've had to adjust. It's been a huge change to the way that we've been playing for the last 2 years, I guess, really. And obviously we picked up iRaffer, who's drastically different to Nils. Although iRaffer, in my mind, in the last 2 sets specifically, he's been kicking ass. He's been he's the dude. So really happy we got him on board. And he's definitely not the issue. It's not losing Nils that's been the issue. We just need to get in touch with the meta again and work on our synergy, I think.
And you think you're getting in touch with the meta a little bit more now? Is that how you guys are feeling?
After that set, mate, I don't know. We're still fumbling around. The game is still changing. I don't think we're going to be topping the charts this spring split, but we are improving. We are a team of smart people who have always been at the top of Smite, so we will find our way back there. And it's just about rolling with the punches,
I just noticed that you in a closet.
No, this is my spare bedroom. It's the only we recently bought a house, me and my girlfriend.
Okay.
And this is the room that we haven't done up yet.
Oh, your girlfriend put you in the closet to play.
She did, yeah.
That
pretty
makes
much.
sense now. All right,
Yeah.
thanks so much for today, Ataraxia. Any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go?
Shout out to Twig for building Ninja Tarby in Game 3. Bit of a rough one on Daji, but and to my team for putting up with me.
He got MVP.
sorry?
You got MVP, so...
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Would have given it to my boy Raff Boy.
Okay.
Yeah, shout outs to my team as well and my Twitter for putting up with me when I'm mad about Hammers all the time. So yeah, that's it.
Well, thanks a lot, Ataraxia. Good luck, and best of luck in the future, too, for you and the boys. Time to head back over to F. on the desk.
Thanks a lot, Graham. Thanks a lot, Ataraxia. Fantastic stuff here as
Always.
we say goodbye to our first day of week 3 of the SPL.
Exciting stuff. I mean, look, this was a longer day than I think most people anticipated, but if you can harken back all the way to that Dignitas Energy set, that one certainly delivered as promised. 2 of the best teams in the world and had a really, really great set.
Really fun stuff there. Tomorrow we'll travel back to North America and see Luminosity and Weak Daddy take on Trifecta and see what they can do against Zap Daddy. Then you've got SSG versus Splice.
You got anything there? Are you gonna any daddies?
Watch out for Aurora Daddy. And then Friday, we'll see Splice and Trifecta, ex-teammates head-to-head, and then CLG with the doubleheader, LG, and then EU.
Those are going to be big for CLG in particular because Luminosity, if you would have said at the beginning of the year, CLG versus LG, not the hypest matchup, well, that's your 1 versus 3 seed right now. in North America. So that's one to keep an eye on. How is LG going to handle that top-end competition in North America?
That's absolutely going to be the litmus test to see just how real Weekend and the squad is going to be when we see them tomorrow. That's going to conclude our European broadcast. Of course, we'll come back here on Thursday, so make sure you tune in at 1. Most importantly, tomorrow, North America at 5 ET. That's going to do it here. And so for me, my co-commentators, production, and everybody that sat through the 75-minute game, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you tomorrow.